What's up, my PT peeps? One Eye Bri back to talk about another discussion and debate of The Walking Dead about Shane. Is he a villain or not? TheWalkingDead.com just did a bracket poll. There it is right there. We're going to talk about it. And spoiler warning, I guess, if you're not up to date on the show, but it's not really spoilers. Just want to put that as a general spoiler warning. But here's the bracket pool. March Madness kind of Walking Dead villain style, which is pretty cool. I like the idea, but the execution is kind of weird. So if you look in the dead center, you see the very bottom in the middle, best villain, Shane. He's the best villain? No way. I don't really classify him as a villain anyway. But if you look at the brackets, if you look at the things, if you look at the people and the characters that they picked for villains, look at the top right corner. Rick is on there. Get the heck out of here with that. You know, that shouldn't even been a choice. And we're going to talk about the people, the characters that they chose, and the first is Rick. So that's got to go out the window of the validity of this thing. If Rick is a villain, come on now. But it's a fun little bracket pool. I don't believe Shane is the victor in my eyes. But you had Pete, which is definitely a villain of Alexandria. You know, he definitely was not a good guy. Then you had Dwight, which is a villain for sure. I mean, he has good things and bad things, but he's on the bad side and he's done some bad things. Nicholas, a smaller villain, a minor role villain for sure, but the big guy is the governor. He makes it all the way to the finals, of course, because as he should, because in my eyes there's only two villains, Negan and the governor. Then there's people of Terminus like Martin, and then there's Gareth, and there's people like that, but I guess they're villains. Simon, he's definitely a villain. He's not the best guy. He's a savior. He's Negan's right-hand man. And you got Officer Dawn of Grady Memorial, who's definitely a villain. Not the best person. Not the worst villain by any means, but she's definitely a villain. Negan, the number one seed coming into the pool for sure. I mean, that makes sense, right? I mean, he is definitely a villain. Martinez, definitely a villain. Governor's side, had some good attributes on there too, especially in season 4. Owen, the Alpha Wolf, he's definitely a villain. So there's a lot of villains on there that definitely made the list. Gareth, smaller villain role, didn't really last very long. Same thing with Merle. He didn't last very long as a as a villain. He had some, attributes as a good person. Jadis, for sure, she's definitely a villain as she's screwed over the group, and Rick, he's definitely on there. And then they put Shane as a villain. I mean, I guess you're running out of people and you got a pool. What are you going to do? You put Shane in there and he freaking won the whole thing. And then Gorman, the other cop that definitely is trying to get with Beth here. So there's the bracket again. You look at it on there. So Pete, Dwight, the governor, Officer Dawn advance, the governor and Pete, and then the governor makes it to the finals. Negan, Gareth, Jadis, and Shane. Then Shane and Negan. Shane beats Negan in the final 4. So it's Shane versus the governor. And I don't know. I just don't see Shane as a villain. I'd rather see Negan versus the governor as in the finals. But people were voting. I think Shane won by like 88% or something ridiculous. And so the top 3 were Shane, Negan, and the governor, which I agree with 2 of the 3. And then Pete slid in there, which he's done some bad things, but Dwight has too. So I don't know. But Negan, to me, takes the cake as the greatest villain on the show. And I don't know why Shane won, but people are talking about it as they have an affinity for Shane, and they have a big thing for Shane still. He's the most debated character of the series. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he a villain? Is he not? Is he an anti-hero? But Negan is a villain for sure. Shane went crazy. He went in Shane in the membrane. And it's just like, I just don't see him as that. But the poll is the poll. It's a bracket pool. It's a fun thing. It's not a big deal. It's like, oh my God, people think Shane's a villain. They're terrible. It's just a fun little thing, as most Walking Dead videos are and just should be about. It's just a discussion. There's no right or wrong answer. But I just don't see Shane in that way. I mean, he didn't really do anything that crazy. I mean, if he killed Rick, I guess so. But he tried to kill Rick, so he has a villain aspect to him. So I guess he should be put on that list. Again, it's just one of those debate and discussions that are like, what's the right or wrong answer? We just don't know. And Shane and Negan are kind of like that, though. They have good qualities, bad qualities, do good things, do bad things. They're good, outweigh the bad sometimes. But the ultimate bad guy is the governor, I would say, too. He's nothing but bad. He's done nothing but bad things. He didn't do any questionable good things like, oh, well, he saved this and he did that and blah, blah, blah. No. He did bad thing after killing Herschel, after, he just killed Martinez. I mean, he did all the things to survive. For some reason, he didn't win, but I think he could. I think he should have won, possibly because the Negan attributes of good and bad and where Negan's at in the comic and who Negan really is and kind of stands for. The governor doesn't have any redeeming qualities. They can't be like, oh, well, the governor did this. Positive note, nothing comes up. Negative, negative, negative. Negan killed, a lot of people and did those things too, but he does things later on. You got to take my word for it, in the comic at least, probably on the show, that he'll come back around. The governor did not. The governor just did bad thing after worst thing after thing. Didn't want to compromise with Rick, was going to try and take over the prison. Killed Merle, did everything, killed Andrea, did all the things that you could possibly think of. Negan has some redeeming qualities, for sure, more than the governor. So let me know what you think, guys. What do you make of it? Shane, greatest villain? Yay, nay? I go with nay. But I just liked to have seen Negan meet Shane, or two villains meet each other. That hasn't happened on The Walking Dead yet. It will happen down the road, hopefully. But we'll see how it goes down. But I would have liked to have seen Shane meet Negan for sure. So there you go, guys. Check out my book on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, CreateSpace.com, a bunch of different spaces. Check out my Instagram at the PT channel, getting more subscribers and followers every day. Check out our Patreon page. We got some patrons. Appreciate Michelle and Corinne right now. You guys are awesome. Can't do it without you guys. Any donation and every donation helps. We're getting more patron-only posts on there, so we're going to be putting content just for that you have to see to be a member of that going forward. Check out the Walking Dead community page on Facebook. All are welcome. If you like this channel, you'll like the group for sure, and you'll like the Patreon page. If you like this channel, hit that subscribe button. We can't do it without you guys. We post videos all the time, and we're going, and we're growing, and you guys are awesome. And post your comments about Shane being the greatest villain or not. Thanks, guys.